show must go on. Welcome to the Baer Facts on Guns, where host Derek Baer and his guests are locked and loaded to educate, inspire, and answer your questions about firearms. Today, gun safes, gun displays, well, just for the heck of it. Look at Sam just rolling in.
Oh,
Traffic's wonderful up in the burbs. Welcome in, brother. You're going to need some help getting your stuff, yeah?
Yeah, I could probably drag it up myself.
Well,
There's some stairs.
Yeah, I'll help you. We'll let the host talk. I'll help you bring it.
Oh, yeah, I can't talk at all. I like that part producer just keeps the music rolling all the way through our conversation.
That's it.
It's awesome.
That's it. Ready, aim, Derek.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. We're going to put you on the spot right now and just introduce who you are and who are you with, and then our producer, Kent, will jump in and grab some stuff with you, bring in stuff in. But welcome to the show.
Well, thank you guys for having me. My name is Sam Galler, and I'm the CEO or president of Secure Display. And we are makers of display safes.
Beautiful.
And our products for the firearm industry are called Invicta Safe.
Nice.
And these are designed if you own a special firearm, something that's meaningful to you or has high value. Most of the time, what do you do with it?
Yep.
Normally, you probably put it in the dark recesses of a beautiful traditional safe.
Yep.
Never to see the light of the day until your drunken buddy comes over and you want to show it to him. Or you go to the range.
Yeah.
And there's a large portion of the population, or a small portion of the population, that would like to be able to display these, but safely.
Yep.
In a manner that dignifies the firearm, like the work of art that it is.
Yep.
And so we take firearms, we make them literally like a museum piece.
Beautiful.
Fully protected, ballistic glass, 14 gauge steel all the way around. Beautiful LEDs, incredible backgrounds, and we hold the firearms in place utilizing magnets to make it look like it's floating. So it's pretty cool.
Man, I have so many questions off the bat, and I'm sure our listeners do out there. So if you guys have questions out there, please tune in on Facebook and ask the questions away, or you can email me at Derek at the Baer Facts on Guns. I can't wait to see these things, number one. And we had them on our show, The Dream Home Experts, that airs on Friday nights at 8 p.m. and every other Friday at noon on 216 The Net here. And you guys go ahead, grab the stuff, bring it up, and
Sure.
I'm sorry. I can't wait to see Kent lift this up and everything as well.
Where are we going to put it? Right here?
Yeah, we were going to put it right there.
Right in the middle.
Right here?
Okay.
Okay. Might move some of the stuff out of the way so that we can
Sure.
gently place without destroying.
Yeah, we can do all that. So while they're going to do all that kind of stuff, I have some crazy news, obviously, when it comes down to firearms in general, and Chicago in particular. So I pulled some facts here, and really what I was trying to dig into is the relevance to gun safety, right? And locking your guns up, and how often different issues can occur in our own city and in our own state as well. So for those of you that don't know, Chicago itself is a pretty big state. It's huge. It has 57,915 square miles. I'm going to say that again. 57,915 square miles. Now, of that, there has been in 2020 187,591 thefts reported annually. Now, Illinois is definitely not small, right? 57,000 square miles. That means that 33 crimes per square mile happen in the state. So, we have to take that information and kind of digest it and understand where it comes from, why it is the way it is, and where that happens, right? So what part of the state? So there's different sections of the state. There's different populations in that as well. And the more dense populations obviously bring in more crime-ridden manifests when it comes to understanding what parts of it are. Now, I was actually surprised at some of these statistics and what areas in the state of Illinois are really the worst. So those of you that are watching the show right now, I would like you to put in the comments real quick, what part of the state of Illinois do you think is the most crime-ridden? And then I have some gun facts to back that up, and specific in the city of Chicago as well. But what Sam has here for us today is some really unique ideas around how to make things look nice and be still protected, right? And there's a multifaceted different parts of this that can be really utilized in someone's home. And the really good part about that, and a really strong part of how that can be utilized in a home, is going to be, displayed here today once he brings them up here. Because when I got really into the nitty gritty of how this system works and how these safes are, it really did open my ideas in my head around the fact of how different ways that you can be safe, aesthetically look pleasing, and open my eyes to the fact that, man, most of my guns literally do sit in a safe all day long. They're lonely and they're sad, and that sucks, right? Welcome, Mike. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Shayna, political crime count. That's awesome. I don't know that I'm talking about violent crimes, but they're definitely, we know how Illinois was as with political crimes. It's been already hit up on there as well. So for those of you who want, and Mike actually answered the question here that I had right away, is South Side. So we think the South Side is one of the most crime-ridden areas in there as well. And I'm going to go through the list, but I'm going to start with number 9. And I have parts of numbers with this when it comes down to, but at the same time, we don't know the raw data around it. It's just a number on a list. This was done by one of the Post local news stations in the area of Chicago here. Number 9, Kankakee, Illinois. So that's a strange name for where you would think, and it's not south at all, and it's on the list. So there's different parts of where those crimes happen. And I was trying to earlier today find out exactly if all of these towns are in the same area as each other, because maybe it's an area, maybe it's the South Side. Most people think right away with anything crime ridden is the South Side, and it's really not. Now, I think of the South Side as the South Side of Chicago. And it is south. It's southern Illinois, but it's not, in my eyes, and maybe I'm not growing up in Illinois. South Side to me does not scream Kankakee, but it is. Shayna says Rockford. We'll see if Rockford's on the list. We got top 10 on there as well to see. Also, and Sam's getting set up in here, so on there as well. What's that? I do not have it on me physically, persons right now, but I have. That's fine. No worries. Oh my gosh, Kent's gun is gorgeous. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. 44 in there. Beautiful. That's good. It's awesome. These firearms are not loaded, by the way. There's no magazines and no bullets on set ever. So just for those of you that yours is loaded with a.
Actually, mine is loaded there. And it's pointed right at you. I'm so sorry.
You physically, or you? I'm just kidding.
Here, let me just.
Impressive, Kent. Shayna says that your gun is impressive. It's extendable too. Apparently.
Now it's unloaded.
It's unloaded. My gosh.
There we go.
Mike says, yeah, far west side of Rockford. So Kankakee is on number 9. Peoria, number 8. Peoria. Another section on there as well. Rockford is on the list. Rockford is number 6 on the list as well. Wow, look at your muscles, Kent. I didn't even know you had.
With the shot.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Kent's lifting up the whole display.
Without dropping anything.
Yeah, without dropping anything. It would be really funny right now if you, like, that cactus just kind of just fell off and stuck to your arm. I'd like to know what you would do. So, Wood River, number 5.
There we go. Look at that beauty.
Holy bananas. That is a nice piece of steel.
Thank you. I have to position it a little bit, but I got here a little bit late.
No, you're good. No worries.
You're good,
It's starting to droop.
It's okay. Don't worry.
That's what she said. It's that time of the evening.
It happens with age. I heard.
It does. Right.
Let me fix it. I feel bad.
Yeah. Don't feel bad.
No, you're good.
No, you're good.
Actually, it's beautiful.
So we'll have to describe it, obviously, for the listeners out there, the people that are tuning in and watching on Facebook. Obviously, you see a nice piece of firearm here and the display case itself. And we'll have Sam jump into the features and benefits on there and describe that out. Kent, I was telling our listeners that Illinois, how big do you think Illinois is? How many square miles do you think Illinois is?
10,000 square miles.
10,000 square miles. Sam, you got a guess for how many square miles Illinois is?
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one because it's a weird looking state.
It's actually bigger than that.
I like playing trivia.
It's got to be about 150,000 square miles.
We're not talking about Texas here.
Oh. And that's somewhere between 10,000 and 100.
Oh, that's good. That's a good range.
How can you ever be wrong?
That's it.
Exactly. It's like the weatherman over there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I think it's going to rain, but it might not. It might be hot. It
Partly
might be cold.
cloudy.
Yeah, we don't know. I'm just going to put on maybe. 40% chance. Sounds great. 57,915 square miles.
Wow.
That's what Sam was going to guess. Thanks for not
Yeah, that's
letting
exactly
him
it.
guess.
Yeah,
That's
he actually
great.
had it written down on a note next to him, sitting next to him right now. Of that, how many thefts do you think were in 2021? 2020.
2020?
Yep.
Thefts. And are we talking?
So
armed
we're
thefts,
talking
or we just-
about thefts. We're talking about stealing inside people's homes, robberies. Something was stolen. So it constitutes, by the way, rape, murder. But a possession was stolen in the process. I don't know how you're going to ask a dead guy if something was stolen or not, but whatever.
It's got to be over 25,000.
Okay, 25,000. That's what Sam says. What do you think?
I was saying 15,376.
I love how accurate you are on this. And no,
$1, Bob.
$1, Bob. I'm going to go low. 187,591 thefts were reported.
Say that again.
Wow.
I wasn't listening.
187,590 thefts
Thefts.
in the state of Illinois.
That's worse than I thought.
Reported thefts.
That's reported thefts, right? So, there's obviously a whole nother avenue of unreported thefts.
Well, there's divorce. That's
Hey,
never mind. Sorry.
that's-
Moving on.
That's highway robbery.
It is highway robbery. 50% of everything just disappeared. So that means, sorry,
That's a good one.
that's good. I like that. That means that 33 crimes of theft happened per square mile.
That's pretty scary.
That's a nasty
square
number.
mile.
Per square mile.
Now, for the hunters out there, a white-tailed deer lives in 1 square mile. You think about that, right?
Yep.
That's their radius, 1 square mile, and usually on the roadways. So
In Illinois.
in Illinois.
Actually, I have to tell you, coming from New York versus Illinois, the deer. Now, obviously, I'm only in a section of Illinois. I'm not in the very northern, very southern part of it where the country is.
Yeah.
The deer out here don't run in front of cars. They sit next to the road. Now, caveat to that, yes, I've seen dead deer all over the city. I have passed deer on certain parts of roads in the middle of the country and go, there's deer. And I'm like, okay, it's just standing there eating off the side of the road like everything's fine. And then it hit me, there's a lot of cars that probably pass in front of this, and survival of the fittest. If you don't run on the road, you don't die.
That's right.
So it's just one of that. So really cool number one, factual stuff that we were going through. So I was going through 10 most dangerous cities in Illinois that are gun violenced murder cities, okay, that are used in firearms. Kankakee, number 9, Peoria, Rockford, Peoria was number 8, Rockford number 6, number 5, Wood River. We have some people out there. I asked the listeners out there if their suggestion of where their area of the number 1 is. And it would be surprising to you. Number 3 is really surprising to me too. And I can't wait to talk about that as well. And yeah, Shana did that too. She said political crimes is different things as well. It's awesome. Sam, you have an awesome product that's thought differently for a way. And I was telling our listeners, it's funny, after we had our show on Dream Home Experts, I literally was like in my house staring at my gun safe going, man, I spent a whole bunch of money on this gun safe. It looks great, but man, nobody sees it because I don't talk about it and I don't show it to people. And I would never display my guns, just chilling out on the way with that kind of stuff as well. Also. So
dead battery.
My battery just went south on me here. Let me see if I can fix it.
It's okay. You don't have to fix it. It's okay.
Right.
The listeners can't see the light. But when you guys tuned in originally, I have to tell you the LEDs that are in this thing, and I'm going to have you dive into the construction of it.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of see if the listeners have any questions, number 1, about the construction of it. And take it away.
But wait, before that though, I've got a question for you.
Far away.
How did you come up with this idea? First of all, it's a brilliant idea, and I'm baffled at that. First of all,
sure,
okay. Well, there's a long story and the short story, and so
we got 45 minutes. Take your time.
Okay, I'll go into the long story. Like all great ideas, a drunken friend called me at about 2:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And if you've ever seen that Billy the Bass dancing thing,
yeah.
He plays music, and he goes, what if we do one that had like a fake firearm and played, like Queen, another one bites the dust. And I said, well, okay, that's really insane. Why are you calling me so late at night? And I hung up the phone, and the next morning I woke up and I thought about it. And I was like, okay, well, that's
cracking a beer. Sorry, guys. I'm really not. Sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
And so my partner and I told him about it, and he said, it's not that crazy of an idea. So we kind of built a prototype. And I looked at it and said, it's a gimmick, In my own personal life, I do own some firearms, and to your point, they're locked up in a safe. I have, I raised 2 children myself, and, you just can't look at them. You can, but then you run a whole nother series of risks that I find unacceptable. And I said, I think there's a real need for this for people that have really, they're either emotionally attached to it or very historical or just very cool firearms. And wouldn't it be cool to be able to display it like a work of art or a piece of you'd find in a museum at your home, at your office, at your man cave, in your den, in your library, or in your bedroom, so you could appreciate your firearm at all times and have access to it.
Some firearms out there, are in the tens of 20s to 30 to $100,000 firearms. Things that are really are pieces of artwork. So
there are very expensive ones. I saw that Jesse James firearm just got sold for millions of dollars.
Jesus, that's awesome.
And
that'd be cool.
So if you own something really cool, a lot of our customers are retiring law enforcement or ex-military, where these firearms saved their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great for everything. So that was the genesis of the idea, and we prototyped it and then prototyped some more.
Mm-hmm.
We brought on a locksmith expert, a person that is literally a safe cracker.
Nice.
And we said, how would you try to
awesome.
design this thing so that, I said earlier, there was a tragedy in my neighborhood where one of my friends, unfortunately, as a very young person, they were playing with a firearm, and and a terrible tragedy occurred. Well, how can you prevent these things?
Literally just happened on our last show. We just had a whole show about that exact moment. Nobody died from it, luckily, but 5-year-old could have been taken out.
The problem is with firearms, there's no do-overs. Once it's done, it's done.
Yep. And
so we thought that, wouldn't it be cool to be able to build something that, that your children can't get into, your teenagers can't get into, and if an unauthorized person entered your home, they can't get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the genesis of the idea. And since then, we've gone on and made a few different models. This one, for instance, there's a frame that goes all the way around it. So it literally looks like a picture frame.
Yeah.
And if you'll go on our website, www.invictusafe.com.
Can I spell it out?
Sure. INVICTASAFE.com.
Perfect. Thank you. Awesome. It looks like we got a little bit of light here. Does it run off USB
Yeah,
for that?
you know what?
I have a USB.
I have another battery.
Oh, okay, cool. So
So
I have a
let me
battery
swap
too if you need
batteries.
to. Yeah, no worries. For those of you that know, it's a gorgeous. Those of you that can't see, obviously, our listeners on the radio, it's a gorgeous black case with a beautiful display in the front. Oof, that's nice and bright. Ken's going to be putting up the website here in a second so that you guys can see that and check it out as well. So keep going. Yeah. What else we got?
Okay, so the design of this safe is this has got 14 gauge steel all the way around. Okay, that's thicker than most safes. Okay, we have a 1/2 inch ballistic glass. So this is a polycarbonate. You can literally shoot into this. With handguns. I mean, it may not withstand a high powered assault rifle or 50 cal.
Sure.
But other than that, it's pretty solid and it will hold. We beat on these things with baseball bats, crowbars,
Just gonna ask
pickaxes.
I was just going to ask that. What have you hit it with?
We've tossed it off 12 foot.
Pickaxes as well. Huh?
Oh yeah,
That's
we've
pretty-
tossed off 12 feet high and watch it smashing in concrete.
Sure.
We've broken concrete blocks over it. We've taken wedges, crowbars. We actually hired. There are 3 safe certifications that exist in America. There's the probably the best is the Underwriter Laboratory, and then you have the CDOJ, Department of Justice, and then there's a residential security container. And ours easily meets and surpassed the RSC and the CDOJ. And basically, there are labs that will beat the bejeebers out of these things. And for the CDOJ, I believe it has to last 3 or 3.5 minutes. And our prototype, which we then since strengthened, lasts for 37 minutes, while 2 guys just beat on this thing. And I paid them.
37 minutes is a long time.
And I paid him to do it. One guy actually got hurt, and he was beating on it so hard that the sledgehammer came back and hit him.
Wow.
And not bad, but
So how
enough
did I get that job where I beat? Oh, it just sounded bad. I needed to stop
Well, you should have seen
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to go on that path.
But
Caught it.
the guys,
for 35
these were very large human beings
Sure.
that impressive strength, and they were also very impressed because most of the safes that you get, even the good ones that you can go online and take a look at YouTube videos galore of people breaking into safes in mere seconds, using normal household tools.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as 100% safe.
Sure.
There's professionals out there or people with the right set of tools that can
When
get
there's
it.
a will, there's a way.
But going back to your statistics, over 85% of all theft is done by amateurs.
Sure.
And these are people that it's an opportunity. They whatever they have on them is what they're bringing to the table.
Yep.
And it's designed so that it goes into your studs in your wall using lag bolts, 4 of them. Ideally, we want to hit 2 studs at a minimum.
Sure.
This is the smaller version that you can is designed for pistols or a few handguns, and then we have a much larger one that I believe is 82 inches long, and it's designed to hold rifles, shotgun, assault rifles, or a lot of handguns.
Sure.
So if you have a complete collection, and
I got an email about this because we talked about this on Dream Home Experts. So fun fact, I had somebody send me this. Do you know how much a 2x4 stud holds vertically before it snaps? An average one, by the way. There's different densities, obviously. I hate being technical about it.
I couldn't even guess.
Cool. 1,000 pounds.
Of pressure.
1,000 pounds vertically.
Oh, vertically.
That it will literally hold.
That's
1,000
pretty
pounds.
So, yeah, and this one's about
It's a
the
half a
way I
ton.
look at it, because I don't own guns, this is about the size of a donut box, right? I mean,
Oh, my God.
Right?
Now I'm hungry.
It
Thanks,
is.
man.
and it's metal all around.
Yep.
And so what you do is you sink this. It doesn't hang on the wall like a picture. You sink this kind of
No, it hangs on the wall
hangs
like a
on the
picture. Yeah.
or you could sink it back in.
You can sink it back in as well, but the vast majority of our customers just put it on their wall because it's
It's
easy.
got a glass case. You want to
it's-
see it.
Well, no, I mean,
Beautiful.
yeah,
I mean
so it's
sunk
so it's
in.
flush.
So it's flush.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can do both.
Yeah.
And
And
it's like, oh, it's a nice window. I'm going to cover it with a piece of wood.
Yeah. No. So it's
you know,
flush.
the problem is you start having to do some serious carpentry work,
Okay.
Yeah.
and this way, anybody can just, You take a drill and you're in and done. And literally just minutes.
And it is just, I mean, it's an amazing, it's really, really cool. And it's all steel with
That's
ballistic glass.
Mm-hmm.
So there's literally,
is this one a real model?
Indestructible.
Yes, it is.
I can tap on this thing.
Well, it might fall over.
Yeah, go ahead. Beat on it.
I don't want to beat on it.
That's
too
the
much.
glass.
That's, I mean, it's, you know, there's no wiggle. It doesn't move. Like there's no,
What's the difference between, you said it has ballistic glass. What's the difference between that and bulletproof?
They're basically the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just another term for it. Ballistic also kind of, if you go to a bank or something like that, or the inner city, and they have the
that thick glass.
It's not acrylic. Acrylic will shatter.
Sure.
This is very strong.
Have you ever seen ballistic glass like on a car when you have bulletproof glass on a car? Have you seen an actual arm, like a round go through one of those? It's so weird because it doesn't do. You think that like it would just ricochet off. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. It absorbs it. It sucks it in, and then it shatters in a bunch of places and it literally spider webs all the way across. But there's so many layers inside there that you have to keep shooting the exact same spot over and over and over and over again before it actually breaks through all the layers. So in the racing world, when you're racing a car, the front glass on older sports cars, like old Porsches, you used to see an X on the front headlights, right? That X wasn't because it looked cool. It's because if that glass shattered, it would hold on to a section of it and make it stronger because you broke this piece. It wouldn't break the rest of the glass and shatter all across the racetrack. So when they do ballistic glass, they kind of take that as well, but they add layers inside here that literally are almost like a filmy plasticky thing in there. And when it shatters and it's the coolest looking thing ever. So we'll have to show you.
Well, I'm glad you said a pickaxe too, because I was thinking, you could take one of those tools to pop out your windshield. A sharp point, as I was thinking, a baseball bat. But if you have a sharp point like one of those things, would it break? And it won't.
No, as a matter of fact, if you're beating on something with a baseball bat, or it'll come right back and hit you.
Yeah, it's a ricochet off.
That's amazing.
I always wanted to test. I'll have to look up a YouTube video of the window breakers. So you have the little spring inside of them that the fire department uses when they're trying to get somebody out of the car. If you break it on there too. I'm assuming it won't do anything other than probably take off a chip off of it as well, but it won't shatter the glass.
Yeah, it'll scratch it.
Glass is awesome.
Now, what kind of lock is on that thing?
So we utilize what we refer to as a cam lock or tubular lock. These are very, very difficult to pick. Mm-hmm. When we consulted with our locksmith expert, this is what he recommended. He said, this is really hard to pick. Mm-hmm. It's, compared to a traditional key lock. And again, when we designed and built this, safety was our number one priority. That and then the looks.
Sure.
And so on the inside there, we utilize effectively, and I can open it up and show you, it's like a car door lock, the hinge. Mm-hmm. So it pulls it in place. It's got many layers of steel on it. And it's designed to be extra, extra strong.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's cool. And up on the screen too is your website.
A rifle and shotgun version, yeah.
Invictus Safe. We got pictures of the shotgun. So it's really, it's really, really cool. So the shotgun one looks like you're going into your great grandpa's house and he's just got it above the, what they would just had it against the wall.
That's right. That's how it used to be.
But this is in a safe, secure, and it's really cool.
I love the American flag one next to it, back to blue, and with an AR-15 in there too. It's beautiful.
Let me talk about that for a second. So one of the cool things is that the backgrounds, we can basically have any color as a background. So if you can go back to that picture you had with the AR and the shotgun. Yeah, there you go.
There she goes.
You'll notice that it's got like a gray or white background there. Mm-hmm. And that color, we've done it in candy apple red. We've done it in blues, blacks, all different colors. And then we can also print onto a magnetic background literally any digital image with 150 DPI or greater. So if, for instance, you're a big Remington fan or a Perazzi fan or, Smith & Wesson, whatever you're into. We can print logos. We can do, if you're a hunter and you want to have a background of ducks flying in the air, we can do that. Really, you're only limited by your imagination. One of our police officers took his retirement picture,
nice.
And he put it up in there, and he also put his badge in there and some other things.
Hey, you don't want to lose that badge. I don't think you can get another one after you retire. I don't know how that works, but I'm just saying. So
I had to give mine up.
You had to give yours up?
It's because I had a loaded gun in the studio.
Yeah, it was unsafe. Eddie Martinez.
Yeah.
He goes, I can pick it. Part of me is like, I just want to, I'd pay you to come in and pick this because I'd like to see, number one, how fast you can do it. Number two, if it can be possibly done or not by somebody that is commenting, which is great.
So I mean,
is Eddie a locksmith?
No, he's a mortgage guy.
Well, Eddie, come on down, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
So
challenge on.
I mean, we just went through a bunch of storms up north here in northern Illinois. Trees snapping. I mean, it was a crazy storm. I mean, your house could literally be blown away, and that thing's just going to be protected and just look just like that. And that's impressive to me.
Well, thank you. And we're impressed. And you know what the coolest part is that once our customers put it up, a lot of times they send their photos to us. We're going to have another media section on our website very soon where we take all the customer photos.
Awesome.
And it's just, they're very happy.
Yep.
It's, we all buy stuff for ourselves or buy it for other people. And, how often you sit there and go, I really appreciate it day in, day out. This kind of thing, it'll last a lifetime. You'll be able to pass it on to future generations. This is designed to be around for 100 years easy.
Mm-hmm.
So they come in gray and black. I mean, can they come in different colors?
The safes themselves come in black right now, but the backgrounds change to any color.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to talk to you too, because the big thing right now, the hot new thing within the gun community, I guess, over the last year and a half, is safes that look like a picture or a piece of furniture, and you don't know that they're there. So again, even though that's a cool idea, again, you're not able to see your prized possessions.
Yeah, let me address that because it's an important point, and these are tactical in nature. In other words, I want access to my firearm quickly and not let it be able to be seen. So literally concealed carry for your home. And this is a little different thought. This is, hey, you know what? I have a cool firearm. I'm proud of it, or I'm emotionally attached to it. I want to be able to look at it.
Yep.
I want to be able to appreciate it.
Yeah.
If any history buffs are out there, the world is the way it is partially because of firearms.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a long history to this going back, to the 1500s and 1600s.
Yep.
And, what a game changer the firearm was. It just annihilated the bow and the arrow and the spear and everything that came before it, the sword. And so you don't have to hide it anymore. You can display it for the people that want the tactical sense of quick access, not being able to see it, but get access to it. Yeah. Those are great. The one negative though, and there is a negative, these are not very well constructed. So if someone knows it's there, they're easy to break into. And so, there are people making them on coffee tables. They put them behind wooden cabinets with a mirror in front.
Exactly.
And, but if you have kids or grandkids, do you really want a loaded firearm where, I'll tell you right now, kids are more stubborn and more persistent than.
Plus, they have access to YouTube.
Right.
So they are educated if they want to on a click of a button. Hey, how do I break into a X safe?
So,
and that's it.
So for something like this, and you've got this beautiful hand cannon there, 44, right?
I got to tell you, it is a hand cannon.
It is beautiful, right?
So you got to tell what it is, though. What do you got? What indicates for those of you that are listening and can't see this impressive piece of metal?
It's a 8-inch Taurus 44 Magnum. It's it's funny, a story on this gun. A friend of mine owned this, and he had to be all of 5'4". We went to the shooting range, and he pulls out this hand cannon. I'm like, oh my God.
Hey, you got a big one there.
Well, the funny part was, he goes, would you like to shoot it? And so I shot it. I go, oh my God, the accuracy on this thing is just incredible.
Longer barrel.
Longer barrel, and the way it diffuses the energy.
Yep.
And I was just very impressed. And then he called, and he knew I was impressed. And he called him up. He goes, hey, I'm selling my firearm. Do you want it?
Is that a question?
Yeah.
That's, I think that was my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. And our camera doesn't, for people out there, watching on that, it absolutely doesn't even look real. I mean, it looks like, it looks like a picture. Yeah, cartoon type picture. But it's on this beautiful red velvet background. But what's holding it up?
Yeah, so we use rare earth magnets, and the rare earth magnets are really ideal. It makes it looks like it's floating, number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, as time goes on, you may want to reposition it or put different firearms in.
Sure. And
now you can move it around. You may want to add 2 in here or 3, or put a badge in there, or, whatever you're into. And so it's very flexible, and magnets are really one of we consider almost the ideal way. And we've been experimenting with a lot of different types of rare earth magnets. Are really powerful, but not overly powerful where
you're going to fight it to get it.
Yeah, or hurt your firearm.
Right. Trying to pull it off the wall.
Now, Shayna, thanks for asking. She says, doesn't really, as you're displaying something like this, doesn't really act like bait for thieves.
It's a good question, and so I'll answer it to you this way. Okay, if you go into many people's homes, they have beautiful artwork that they spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for. Other people have literally museum pieces in their homes. So, or I own a Ferrari or a very beautiful Porsche. So, any valuable item we can be considered bait. So, I highly recommend that if you're going to own a firearm, that you have an alarm system and lock your doors at night and take safety precautions regardless, whether you have a firearm in your home or not. And, Donna, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just making that reference in my head. You don't hide. If you own a Picasso, you don't put it in a safe and never showcase it off. You display your Picasso. But there's really no, you can take that thing off the wall. I mean, I'm assuming you have some kind of security something that's on there as well.
I would hope.
But the Picasso's not going to kill you, and doesn't give an advantage to somebody else breaking in. Plus, we just found out that a 2x4 can hold 1,000 pounds. So that means that you have 4 of those bolts, or 6 of those bolts, holding into 2 studs in your house, which is then framed out. By the way, that is just 2x4s in a simple frame, 1,000 pounds. You're talking about house construction with a lot more weight added to it, plus added into this as well. I don't think it's a deterrent because, first off, as a gun owner, you're already leery about who's in your home. Me personally, I always know who's going to be coming in my home. And if it's in that safe and they know that you've spent the precautions and the money and the investment in there as well. And I'll talk about my gun safe experience too, because I did a lot of research before I bought my safe because I wanted to be the right one. And I've done a lot of research, obviously, and learned a lot of things about your safes as well. I don't think it's more of a deterrent than it is like, okay, well, this guy really does care about security. And I found out some really cool features about what this thing can do when it comes to protecting my home, because it kind of serves a dual function, right?
Mm-hmm.
So give me that little fact in here that's kind of cool about what's hidden inside of this as well.
Okay. Hi, Joe.
Hello. Hey, Joe. The other creator of the display case.
Yeah. Master.
So you can come in. Have a seat, man. Jump in.
Yeah.
So
if you want, you can pick up the microphone that's on the floor.
Yeah, here, we'll just put this little bad boy up here.
Joe's my partner, a mechanical genius, if you will.
Awesome.
So what's kind of nifty about this, and for those that can see it, there's some really strong reinforcements here. This latch is reinforced. This is literally out of a car door. Mm-hmm. How would you describe it, Joe?
It's an automotive style, also used in the financial industry, ATMs and cash machines and stuff like that. So it's the same line of defense or of security that they're using. What should be for small boxes even better.
That's insane.
And that is incredible.
We employ technology called a box within a box.
Yes.
And
So cool.
I
Just
can
wait.
open this up.
It's so cool. It's a hidden compartment.
Yeah, and so now I have room to put my ammunition in here, or
Yes.
important papers, or really anything else that will fit inside the safe.
It's so cool.
That's
Yeah, like a
brilliant.
candy
It's
store.
easy to put it back, and again, you wouldn't even know it's there.
So you keep a magazine back there, not like a Playboy. I'm talking guns, right?
I mean, if you want to put that
Well,
in
if you
there,
got a nice
that's
one.
fine.
You'd
So-
want
If
to
you
put it
want to
on
hide it from the
display.
kids, you probably could.
The kids, it's the wife. I'm not just
Yeah.
kidding.
That's mom. No, just kidding.
1976 edition.
That's Granny.
She's
All
in the
right.
middle.
Yeah.
Full spread. I had that.
Hey,
I know.
That was
You
it.
can put magazine there, but you can also house extra bullets in there too. So you
Right.
can put actually a box of bullets. You guys have designed so much in here, and I love that.
Really cool.
I love how many times that you guys have talked about how you've designed this, what you've come up with, and all the intricate pieces. And Joe, honestly, I love your mind because you've thought of all the stuff that normal people just don't think about. All the little nuances that it makes it really worth that much and more, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So-
the reason you look at, we came to this decision of the box into the box of necessity.
Yes.
I mean, as he meant, is that if you were to try to enter this box to try to get in there, what's holding
Mhm.
the force of you going in there? The box, that inside box, is actually distributing that force all the way through the box. There's no sheet metal holding the glass in from pushing into it.
Gotcha.
It's actually being held in within the box.
Nice. Okay.
The force is distributed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so when the guys were beating on it with sledgehammers and all kinds
It's
of
getting
things,
tighter.
well, they couldn't. They're like, this isn't moving, because normally, as Joe correctly pointed out, the box within the box has a lip that the polycarbonate Lexan sits on top of our ballistic glass.
Sure.
And when force is applied, it distributes it through the whole box and makes it extremely structurally sound.
How many boxes have you destroyed trying to come up with the right
You know,
concept?
I have a closet in my basement that probably has around about 20 boxes
Nice.
of prototypes.
Nice. Okay.
And we started in wood, and then we worked our way up. We actually built one that is it's a monster.
It's a smaller version of this, but it's double the locking mechanisms.
Oh, jeez.
Double the thickness in the steel. It's just
We call that Fort Knox.
Yeah, it's almost overkill.
Sure.
There's a balancing act between cost and security, and so we try to find even though a lot of people still say to us, "Oh, it's too expensive," but if we prevent one tragedy, just one, it's worth every penny.
Sure.
And so
I
that's
wouldn't like dual locks just because of the fact that I'd have to unlock one and then go.
No,
to
it
the next
was all
one.
connected. It was one lock.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
Oh, yeah,
All
no,
right,
actually
it was-
dual. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Good
Yeah.
question. Shayna, it is lighted, right?
Yeah.
What kind of lights are in there? What do you got?
So we use transistorized LED lights. Okay. And so if you ever go to like the mall and you go to the jewelry store, you'll see regular LEDs that have all these little dots.
I hate the dots.
And but LEDs are cool. The transistorized version gets rid of all the little dots. It's more like a diffused light source that does a great job of highlighting the valuable item.
For our crafters out there, it's kind of a shadow box.
it is, as I call it, it's an armored shadow box.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I like my aunt says I'd like to keep my Corvette keys in there to hide them from Matthew. That's my cousin. And my aunt just got a Corvette, I think last year, and everyone wants to drive it. It's hilarious. She has not let me drive it yet.
I was
As
gonna
we all
ask.
know what would happen. I'd end up in jail probably. I love the lighting on this. We spoke last time about this, but lighting is extremely important to me, especially with LEDs, because there is certain types of LEDs that I like. You have high-end sports cars like Porsche, Audi, Mazda, Mercedes that really care about that detailed, really nice swooping, clean LED look to them, where you don't see all those dots. And then if you get into the less expensive cars, you see literally LED, 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 LED. And I can't stand that. It drives me nuts. This actually has a really clean look. The camera, it shows that it's kind of more on the outside than it is on the inside. But when you're standing in front of it, the display itself is equally lit all the way through the entire showcase.
Of course, if you
beautiful.
want to see more, right, you can go
Yeah.
to www.invictasafe.com. INVICTASAFE.com. There's prices, there's models, there's the whole works there. What is the turnaround time on something like that? If I were to order it,
we usually ship in under 2 weeks.
Wow, nice.
It depends on our supplies. Everything with the COVID world, getting supplies is a little crazy these days.
No, it's all super easy. What's going on?
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
That's
It's true. So we talked about you can add in different pictures in the back of it. You can anything 150 pixels or more, which is awesome. I can just think about a million things I can add in here. And Kent's pulling up the website here too.
Let me describe a few more things too.
Sure.
So if you have, let's say, historical firearms that are old, there's 2 other features that we've recently announced. One is UV protection.
Beautiful.
So, the wood fades if it's in sunlight. Secondarily, we also have humidity protection.
Beautiful.
So that you can keep your firearm, especially if you live like down in Florida or in very dry places. Some of the older firearms, the wood, it'll crack.
Yep.
It'll change.
Sure.
And you want to protect these.
Yep.
So even a lot of the more expensive safes don't have humidity control.
Yep.
Obviously, they don't need UV protection because they're behind steel, but still.
Right.
And it's something when I learned when I was buying my safe, I did massive amount of research on safes because I wanted a giant safe. I really did. I would take a room for a safe at this point just because I think it's cool and it's John Wick style because that's just amazingly badass to walk into a room with display cases inside of a safe, which would be awesome. But there's so many different ratings and so many different types of steel that are put together in pressed steel. And it's until you touch it, right? So you walk up and actually feel this thing. Because for the listeners out there, obviously you can't see it. But when you buy a cheap safe, your first gun safe, it's flimsy. Like the metal is
tinny.
Tingy. Yeah, you can literally
usually 16 gauge steel or even less than that.
Yeah, and it's super thin. And if you really wanted to, and it happened the other day in my office, I needed one of the van keys. And I literally drove 35 minutes into my office and forgot the key to the little key safe that we have. And I'm like, this thing can't be that hard. I took a screwdriver and was able to break into it in less than 10 seconds. I literally stuck it in the lock, bent all the metal over, and the locking mechanism ping. And I was like, well, I got my truck key, and this cost me $35, but it also saved me an hour and a half of my time. So it's worth it. This, you can't do that. You cannot, there's no way, first off, there's almost no, I can barely fit my fingernail behind the gap on the inside of this as well. But the glass doesn't make any noise. It doesn't rattle. It's very secure, right? And that's the way it should be. So again, kudos to your design. And kudos to your manufacturing on it because that's amazing.
And where is it made?
We metal fabricate locally, and we assemble everything at our facility.
100% U.S. made.
100%.
Love it.
Down there in Aurora.
In Aurora, Illinois.
Aurora, yeah.
Aurora did not make the top 10 list for most unsafest places to live in.
Yeah, it's a good place. And Shana says, cross usage for jewelry. Yeah, you can use this to display.
For many things, yes. Again, armor shadow box. So anything that you typically would use it for a shadow box, whether it's your son's prize military awards for military, is
the flag,
Purple Honor, or your honors awards or anything like that can be put in here. Anything that you have a value that you wanted to show off that
if your loved one passed while they were in the military, that flag that you get would fit.
So just to let you know, hopefully by the end of September, we will have our other website up running called Armored Shadow Box, and and we can hold guitars, musical instruments, baseball cards, sports memorabilia, really anything. But our original design intention was for firearms, and we said, it can do more than that. To Shanna's point, and so we've, in the previous one that we did for home experts, I showed some pictures of golf clubs and
baseball cards on our Dream Home Expert show, which was good. So
the Moonrock one, that's a good story.
Oh yeah, the
Moonrock. And Shana, real quick, there's a question out there. It's made where 100% made USA. And by the way, locally. So the metal's pressed locally.
It is.
And assembled locally.
It is.
So it's Illinois based, but more importantly, it's USA based.
What kind of is it? Just black steel, or you guys powder coat that, or what?
This is a powder coat.
Yeah,
it's a matte powder coat.
Cool.
Which is cool because, by the way, for you car guys out there, you could probably powder coat that any color you want.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
We can. If someone said, so that's something else too, that if someone wants something unique or done a certain way, just give us a holler.
Perfect.
We're flexible. We want to make customers happy.
Yep. And everyone's, house, it's incredible. It's gorgeous. I can think of 1,000 things I would want to display in there. Sports memorabilia wise, family heirlooms, your family crest can go in there.
Right.
Like, think about all the littlest things that you have hanging in your house. That means a lot to you. Spider webs. That means sentimental value to you, right? So you literally care about it more than money can, more than an insurance policy can cover, and you're securing it to a 1,000-pound stud.
Yeah.
I can't get that out of my head. It's so cool.
That is, and again, it comes in shotgun size as well.
Mm-hmm.
Guitar size. I mean, there's the memorabilia. The money people spend on memorabilia in this country is crazy. Right.
And some of them just have minutes hanging right there for anybody to go grab. And the fact that, if you have something where in an office or something like that where you have traffic and you don't know exactly who's coming and going, this is a perfect example of what you can protect that item, but still be able to show it off as you would want to.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it is. Now, you said something about a moon rock.
Okay, I'll tell the story real briefly.
Go ahead.
One of a potential customer called me up and said that in 1975 or 72, that Richard Nixon gave his father, who was a Finnish ambassador, a moon rock that actually, came from the Apollo missions. And he wanted to display it. And these are irreplaceable, priceless. And, asked, could we do something special for him? And we did. And it's actually hanging in a museum in Finland right now.
Jeez.
And I got some pictures on it. It's really cool. And he put some verbiage next to it, and and that way it can't disappear.
I hand out pizza cutters. The president gives a piece of the moon. Here you go.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's cool. You're hanging on a wall and across the pond, and that is amazing. That's just invictussafe.com. It's just, you got to check it out. You just go to their site. It's cool. If you own firearms, and you've got
something important to you,
and I like, what I see a lot of people have and I don't know what they're called. They're rifles, like the old riflemen had,
Henry rifles. Yeah.
A Henry rifle.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would look brilliant in there. And if you can create the background for it, awesome.
And you can't put value. You can't put price on security. Ever.
No.
You can't. There's no way around it. I mean,
You don't get second chances. Period.
No.
If this product fails, it failed. So it has to work all the time.
Right.
Sure. So when I was doing my research on safes and going through, one of the things I always paid attention to was fire rated and waterproof rating and things like that. The unfortunate part of life is that fires happen in houses, water damage happens. Obviously, I'm not too worried I wouldn't be worried, in my opinion, on water damage, as it's probably off the floor. And if you have that much water in there, you're probably, you lost a lot. So fire rated, waterproof rated.
It's neither.
Okay. It's just one of those questions. Yeah. We're going to get those questions. I'm going to get emails about it too. Yeah. You're constantly making improvements on different things with these.
We are. There's a number of, as I mentioned before, we just added the DPI printing capability.
Yep.
There'll be an alarm integration, so it goes it'll connect. If you jostle it or move it, or the door opens up, Beautiful. It'll be connected to your home alarm system and notify you. We in our lab, we also have the ability, or we haven't released it yet, but it's like a low jack for this. In the event someone were to break in your home, might find it easier just to saw off the studs than try to break into it on site.
Sure.
Throw it in their car and take it home.
Yep.
So as soon as it leaves a geofence, you get an alert on your phone and you can track them. So,
Brilliant.
those are some of the high tech features. On the low tech realm, we're constantly modifying and adding, as I mentioned before, there's a frame. There's a number of we're constantly doing redesigns to enhance security and manufacturability of this.
Mhm.
So we're constantly fiddle-faddling around and coming up with really nifty ideas.
One key point as far as the reason why it's not fire safe is because of the polycarbonate glass. If you were to replace this with glass, that changes the fire rating as far as it being able to hold up.
So it's not
temperatures.
I guess we're going to dive into that because I'd really like to know ballistic glass can
It's
take
polycarbonate. It's polycarbonate.
Okay.
So this is a plastic, as far as we call it glass, but it really is.
But it can take a bullet.
Yeah, it can take a bullet.
Yeah. So in terms of regular glass has a certain melting point. I don't know that off the top of my head, but does polycarbonate have a lower?
Yeah, it has a lower melting point.
Lower melting point. Okay, I didn't know that. It's a fun fact. Take a bullet, but it'll melt.
And you answered the question I was going to ask. Is like, how do you get it fire rated?
Well, just so you know, too, for the people that have fire rated safes, you got to be real careful because if you put ammunition in your safe and it heats up, that ammunition is going to go off and destroy anything inside of there.
Sure.
So it's not as
safe as safe.
So if you're going to be shopping for a safe, please consider that. Maybe put your ammunition in a different safe.
Sure. That's a great idea. And this is what I love about these two. Number one, you guys make it a gorgeous product from aesthetically, from an electrician's point of view, and looking at not only the thought process behind the lighting that's inside this box, the fabrication side, which we, an HVAC side of my business with Art, we deal with metal fabrication every day. And you can appreciate a fine piece of built together metal box in general because we install rooftop units all the time. But you constantly think about different things. The box inside the box, the polycarbonate that's in here, how it's pressed, the density of the pressing, the locking mechanism. You guys have really broken down every part of what a safe should be and why. And you've probably had these conversations that we're asking these questions 50 times over with each other and know why and why not to do those kind of things. For our listeners, that should show you value for what the product is, right?
Yeah.
So why it is the price that it is because these guys have probably spent thousands of hours trying to design, perfect it, coming up with, running into roadblocks. I can only imagine whenever you try to design something, how many light bulbs were made, 1,000 light bulbs or something before the actual light bulb clicked on.
Yeah.
How many failures do you have before you either give up or you keep pushing through and come out with something that's incredible and gorgeous?
Well, and I go back to a few weeks ago when Tom brought in the safes and he has them strategically placed. They're kind of ugly, throughout his home. This is a way to do it, and it's not ugly. I mean, here it is. This is a beautiful display. And it's functional. So
somebody's breaking your house, you can literally walk over to your wall and take out a firearm that's ready to go, that's got magazines hidden in the back of it with extra bullets. Honestly, how much better can you get?
You can't.
And most of the time, to be honest, this is your prized possession. If you're a person that is having firearm, you're going to have a firearm nearby that's going to be accessible, not just this one.
Yep. Sure. But I mean, I would. I don't see that I wouldn't do that either. But it's also Plan B. Yeah. Plan B should always be there as well, and make sure that you have something ready to go. And if you can't get to that one, maybe you're locked in a certain section of your house, and that's there. Well, now you got access to it. You got bullets in there, and you're good to go. So that's incredible.
So InvictusSafe.com, we've got a few more minutes here on the show. Anything we've missed? Anything you guys want to talk
point about security? Anything we can discuss about as far as lines of security. Mm-hmm. This is not a frontline security device. Sure. You would, if you're going to have items like this, you also have your own security to get into your house. You have security barriers that as far as if someone were to break in your house, you would have an alarm system possibly, or a dog, or something. Another line of security before you even get to this box. Sure. So when you criticize that, I can break into this box really easy. Keep in mind, you got to get past your first two lines of defense before you get into this.
I wouldn't even know how to begin. First off, this lock itself, I'm not a locksmith, and nor would I have no desire to break into things. I think about, and I see the YouTube videos, they got two little things and one's pressing it. There's no price to press. It's a circle. It's a circle. Plus, on top of that, I can't even fit my fingernail in here, so I wouldn't even be able to stick a screwdriver
I think the first thing you're going to do is try to smash the glass, and then it'll bounce back.
Kiss you right in the forehead. Yeah, you think twice about that one, huh, bud?
Right.
But you're right. This is better, first off, than what you have normally, which is this thing sitting in a gun safe, which is horrible. I just said it earlier. Yeah. You don't put a Picasso in a safe. You put a Picasso on display, and this is your prized possession. So that's a huge part of it as well.
It's amazing.
What's it what?
It's amazing.
It is.
It's just it's
and you
beautiful.
look at if you go to your average Walmart and stuff like that, and someone can easier to get into those types of safes than this.
10 seconds.
As far as
most safes too, for everybody listening, are pretty ugly. They're a little
God.
metal box or whatever.
And they're heavy.
This is absolutely. If you didn't know this was a safe, you would never know that it's a safe. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's just put together so well that it literally looks like a shadow box.
Yep.
That's it.
That's phenomenal.
You know, to address one other point, going back to all the prototypes we have, and to address your point, this is overlapping steel. The tolerances are really tight. You cannot get a screwdriver in here or a crowbar. It's really tight. If you take a look at this hinge on the back of this, when we did our redesign after people were breaking into it.
What hinge are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
It's almost impossible to see the hinge. It's overlapped, so there is no access point.
There's no way to get the pin out. You know, a lot of times you can drive the pin out. We actually purposely secure the pin so you can't knock the pins out.
So there's all these details that we went through with our locksmith expert and Joe, our design expert.
So have you guys ever have your house broken into, and that's where you're coming up with knowing this? Or
my house was broken into a few years ago, but it's a funny story because I had just gotten divorced. And
she took more than 50%.
I hadn't been in my home in 3 years, and she didn't want that house, and I bought her a new home. And so I moved back in, and I have lawn furniture as furniture.
Nice.
And so someone picked the wrong house, and they broke into my house.
Right.
I have nothing.
What the hell?
I didn't even call.
Gary, I thought you said this house was loaded.
Right.
I literally have nothing. Okay, and I didn't even call the police. And apparently, a few days later, they hit the house down the street, and the lady was beside herself. I go, yeah, my house got broken into too. And she was, oh, what did the police? I didn't even call them. She goes, well, aren't you don't you feel victimized? And I go, no, I just got through divorce. That's victimization. This is just a minor. I got to buy a new window. It's minor.
I was hoping to buy him a beer. I just wanted him to say hi.
Right. I was hoping he'd stay for a while.
So, but to your point of all the break-ins we started on discussion with, it's something that should be a concern to everybody. And let me say this most importantly, okay? Firearms are, yes, they're very protective for you, but at the same time, if in the wrong hands, these are, you really want to prevent tragedies.
Deadly. They're deadly. It's okay. They're deadly. They kill people.
And so
if not used properly.
Our intent is to save lives, not take lives.
Oh, look at that. Same with us.
And, safety precautions, whether you're handling a firearm or storing a firearm, if you live by yourself and you want to leave it out, okay, as long as you know kids around. But if you have kids or other people coming in your home, you really should be safety conscious, very safety conscious.
Well, thank you both so much. Tons of information. Jump online, check out their website, invictasafe.com. Really a pleasure. Thank you so much. I cannot appreciate the ingenuity so much on this as well. And look forward to helping you guys out here.
Well, we want to thank you guys as well. Appreciate taking the time to have us on. And you guys run a great show, and nothing but great things to say about you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Let's play you out, Sam.
Beautiful.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at 216 Net. Thanks for getting caught in the net. This has been the Bear Facts on Guns. Our good friends from invictasafe.com. Check them out. What do you call it? An armored shadow box, right? Amazing stuff. And if you go there, tell them you heard about it on 216 The Net. I don't know, just because I like 216 The Net.
We'll give you a discount if you do.
We'll give you hey, there you go.
There it is.
There you go, Shayna. It's all for you. Hey, jump in tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. for Mary Catherine's Power Hour playlist, followed by The Grounds, followed by Bridging Civil Tension, followed by Dream Home Experts at noon, where you can check out this show once again. That you guys did last Friday.
We did. Yeah.
So you can check it out if you want more information. Thanks, folks. That's it for us.
Holy cow.